You can't sleep because your body literally thinks it's dangerous to sleep. So watch till the end because this is life-saving information. And we all know how much poor sleep affects in our life. It affects our relationships. It affects how we show up for our children, how we show up for our work, how we show up for our own happiness. I'm Danielle Rubio, a somatic movement therapist and mindfulness teacher, and I've been helping women from all over the world with chronic stress, anxiety, insomnia, and healing the underlying nervous system dysregulation and unhealed trauma that's causing all of the issues. So listen carefully. When you are suffering from poor sleep, it's usually because you have a hypervigilant nervous system. A hypervigilant nervous system is essentially a nervous system that is stuck in overdrive. It's stuck in being aroused. It's stuck in thinking you're in danger. So your nervous system is literally sensing, if I go to sleep, I will be vulnerable to some sort of predator out there that's going to eat me. Because over the hundreds of thousands of years, even more, that we have been evolving as the human species, your nervous system's main job has been to keep you alive. And the main way that the nervous system does this is by sensing what threats are out there in the environment. And if it's sensing a threat, what are we going to do as this human organism to get ourselves out of that danger and preserve our life? And when your nervous system is aroused, it's in a fight or flight response, then it's literally sensing there's some sort of danger out there. And so we don't want to sleep when we're in danger, right? In other words, nothing you do as far as taking lavender pills or chamomile or melatonin or putting your earplugs in, and think about it, like putting earplugs in, that's going to make your nervous system sense there's even more danger because you can't hear the predator coming. So all of these tactics, these strategies that we use to try to get us to sleep are doing the opposite effect. Because every time you're trying to numb out the nervous system response, the nervous system response is going to get even stronger. If you think about it, your nervous system has been evolving much longer than prefrontal cortex. So all these like strategies that you're doing now and in just the past few months, maybe that you've had bad sleep, or maybe even the past few years that you've had bad sleep, isn't really a match for a nervous system that's been evolving for hundreds of thousand plus years. So why is the nervous system constantly in this fight or flight? Or why is the nervous system in a fight or flight when we're trying to go to bed? So your nervous system is in this aroused place at nighttime, evening time, when you're trying to go to bed, because it's been that way all day. And all day long, you had distractions, right? You were at work, or you were busy running errands, or you were busy having a good time somewhere that you weren't quieted enough necessarily to notice that you were in this aroused place. But also when you're keeping yourself super busy during the day or you're working, you're also like using that sympathetic nervous system energy. Nervous system is the nervous system responsible for the fight or flight response. So you're also working in that sympathetic realm of the nervous system all day. So you're in that movement, in that sort of like, you're kind of like riding the stress hormones that normally, historically, would be used to get you to run, to run away from a predator or to fight a predator or to try to catch a prey. You're using that energy by, say, working or cleaning or going to a gym class during the day. And you've probably noticed that that's still not enough, right? Because you're not actually like deliberately working with the nervous system. You're just keeping busy. So you're not noticing it really. Nighttime comes and you're not doing anything. You're trying to sleep. So that sympathetic arousal is so much more noticeable. So you're noticing that rapid heartbeat, or you're noticing that restlessness. You're noticing a nervous system that wants to run or wants to fight. So what do we do about it? Well, we need to address the underlying nervous system dysregulation, right? Because a dysregulated nervous system is a nervous system that's stuck in an aroused place, and it's not naturally getting back to that rest and digest, that homeostasis place in the nervous system. And I want to be really clear here, and this is what is really important, that traditional therapists, doctors, even most alternative therapists are not telling you. And that is that regulation doesn't mean that you are never in an aroused place. It means you're still going through fight or flight or freeze or shutdown or fawn or flop or all these different places the nervous system goes. You're just not staying stuck there. You are naturally moving. And particularly when there's no more threat, there's no more stress that's arousing you, you're going to go back to rest and digest. You're going to go back to this place of homeostasis. So you're still in this place of arousal at nighttime because you've been there all day, and maybe you've been there all week. Maybe you've been there all month. Maybe you've been there for years. And that's the case that most people are in when they come to me. That's the case that most women are in when they join my program to work with me one-to-one. They have been in this place of dysregulation for quite a long time. And it's to the point where it's affecting their work. It's affecting their passions, their drive, their career. It's affecting how they show up for their loved ones. And if you think about it, if you're on such a high aroused, short fuse, you're going to end up being hot-tempered. You're going to end up being impatient. You're going to end up being, very restless. You're not going to be at peace. And so that's going to affect, the words that are coming out of your mouth. It's going to affect your mood. It's going to affect every single relationship you have. And for the sake of this video, it's definitely not going to get you that restful, restorative sleep that you need to have a good life. So if you want better sleep, you're going to have to address your nervous system. You're going to have to address, why is the nervous system constantly aroused? And that's a multifaceted approach, right? Like, number one, you want to look at what in your life is constantly arousing your nervous system. It's constantly keeping you in a place of stress. Then you also want to look at, why is the nervous system in overdrive? And I'll give you a hint there. It has something to do with all of the past moments of your life where your nervous system was in an aroused place, aka trauma. And everybody has trauma. Trauma is simply something that overwhelmed the nervous system to where the nervous system could not regulate. And so everybody grew up in some sort of dysfunction. There's nobody to blame. We all had, varying levels of that. And then we live in a society that is not well. So we constantly have this programming that's been going on for a long time for us, where the nervous system has kind of consistently been overwhelmed. And if we were never taught the tools for regulation, or we were never modeled by caregivers who were well regulated themselves, then we never knew how to do this. And number three, when you're trying to sleep, you want to use tactics and strategies that are actually working with your nervous system and not against it. And I have a whole other video for those tactics, and I'll link it in the description so you can check that out. And I'll also put it at the end of this video too, so you can see the strategies of actually working with the nervous system. So save this video and share it with everybody you know that's having sleep issues, because I promise the way that doctors are addressing it by just throwing pills at you, or even, naturopathic doctors that are trying to throw supplements at you, these things can maybe help to some degree. Western meds are going to help very temporarily. They're probably going to make the problem worse in the long run. Natural strategies are going to help a bit, but they're not going to get to the root. If you actually want to ensure that you've got really, really damn good sleep every single night, you got to go the route of the nervous system. All right, till next time, my friends, if you want a personalized strategy for creating greater optimal well-being mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, you can always set up a free one-to-one call with me, and I can let you know all the ways to work with me. Take care.